Well, hello there. I'm Pete LaFrance, the old Growler. Welcome to Meeting Expectations. If this is your first time here, what we do is we take a look at a can of beer or a bottle of beer. Sometimes a spirit will drop by, and we take a look at it. We read all of the information, and we take a look at the artwork, and we try and figure out what they're trying to sell us. Then we crack it open and see if it meets expectations. Now, do things a little bit differently here than most folks. First of all, always have the same style of glass. That way, every beer is on an even footing when it comes to looking through them and their clarity and the aromatics. And that's another thing. Most people will do a tasting. They'll take a look, they'll sniff, they'll sip, and then they'll tell you what they think. What I do is I sip first and then sniff. Why? Because sometimes the olfactory nerves can tell a little bit of a wrong message to the taste buds. I'll let Master Sommelier Fred Dex explain it to you right up there. He does it a lot better than I do. And finally, all of your beers should be served at the right temperature. Ales should be served 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That's because they ferment at a much higher temperature. And lagers, they should be served at around 40 to 45 degrees temperature, again, because they start out fermenting at a very low temperature. I use a thermopen to make sure that the temperatures that I take for my beers are all optimum. There's a link in the description box below. You can make sure all of your beers are at the right temperature as well. If you want to know exactly, click up there and I'll tell you what temperature your beer should be served at. All right. For those of you who have been here before, let's get started. Okay, what have we got? Today we've got Grimm Butterfly Door Double India Pale Ale. Here we go. It's from the Grimm. They're the Grimm Artisanal Brewing Company here in Brooklyn, New York. All right, let's see. They have a very difficult label to read. I don't know why they did it that way, but it's Butterfly Door. Okay, it is $8.49 at the local beer barrel. And it tells me, okay, Citra, Simcoe, Dorado, and Cashmere hops. Keep cold, drink now. 8% alcohol by volume, 1 pint. The Surgeon General warns me that I shouldn't operate heavy machinery if I'm drinking this, or I shouldn't be pregnant drinking this, and I don't have to worry about either one of those. I'm looking for an alcohol by volume. There it is. I think I noticed it before. 8% alcohol by volume. They don't tell you anything else but a double India Pale Ale. All right. Well, down in the description box, there's some information that I got from their site, and it's I wouldn't say confusing, but what am I expecting? Well, they are a solid brewery, so it's going to be a balanced beer. But a double India Pale Ale, okay, I'm expecting to get kicked in the teeth with hops, and I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a hazy beer. Okay, a hazy beer that's going to kick me in the teeth with hops. Let's crack it open and see if it meets expectations. Oh boy, I can smell hops from here. Boy. All right. Yeah, it's a hazy one, that's for sure. It's got a nice 2-finger head, well knit, good carbonation. I don't know if you can see that, but I can see there's quite a bit of carbonation rising up. Nice little bubbles. All right, it's an ale, so it should be between 50 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, a little high. This is at 61. So the flavors will probably be a little bit more enhanced than they would be if they were a little bit more chilled. Okay, let's go in. Cheers. Well, I still have my teeth. It is certainly intensely hopped, but not overly. There's the balance in there. They have it's a really sweet base that it's working with. That the malt is nice, is very sweet. However, it's not cloyingly sweet. It's got a full body, but it's not cloyingly sweet because of the really intense hops that are in there. Okay, let's go in for the first nosedive. As I said when I first opened it up, I'm getting all kinds of aromas. Definitely a citric, a lemony, a grapefruity. But it's funny, they don't come across in the flavors. Oh, and speaking of tasting, I take 2 sips. The first one is an acclimation tip. That way, your taste buds are asleep and they're all comfortable. And then they get hit with something and they're going, wait a minute, what was that? And you say, okay, calm down. I'll let you try it again. And then they're thinking. So that's why I take the 2 sips. And as I say, the aromas are a little bit different than the flavors. I'm going to try it one more time. It's a much milder beer than I expected. It does have a good body, but and it's a fine little beer. But and so I suppose that if I'm going to be very strict about my observations, it meets the expectations of a double India. It doesn't quite meet the expectations of a double India Pale Ale. I was expecting again to have a real pucker power on this. So it didn't meet expectations, but it's certainly not a disappointment. So we will leave it at that. If you enjoy these types of programs, please click on the subscribe button and the bell. That way you won't miss any of our presentations. And I'd certainly appreciate a comment about what you saw today. Okay? Well, I'm the Old Growler, hoping all of your beers meet expectations.